Are you ready for the traffic avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the traffic avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, Traffic Avenue, oh yeah.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka and Accra. My name is Selorm. Adonoo. Tonight I'm here with
Akosua, Otchere.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes.
And then somebody put it out there, Frimpong-Boateng has taken 500K. What am I going to do with it? There was an orchestrated scheme, even within the party and government.
To get you out.
To get you out. So that, look, why is it when I left, now everybody is in the forest? At that time, you dare not enter the forest.
Former Environment Minister Professor Frimpong-Boateng speaks for the first time after leaving office, accusing his fellow government and party officials of working to hound him out of office with allegations of missing excavators, among many other claims. Also coming up, First Deputy Speaker of Parliament cautions Ghanaians never to vote into office and hang Parliament, as he claims it makes the legislature inefficient. We will examine his arguments. Still on Eyewitness News, angry residents of Masap at the Regional Coordinating Council to demand justice for a 28-year-old man killed by the anti-robbery unit of the Ghana Police Service for his alleged involvement in a robbery syndicate. We will bring you a situation report from WA. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News and in business.
The Ghana Revenue Authority urges businesses to embrace EVAT system to boost their daily transactions.
Nathalie Ajaho returns in the next 50 minutes for more stories in the world of business. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates and around the globe at citynewsroom.com. Your comments are welcome via our WhatsApp line 0549 986 996. You can follow me on Twitter at Selorm Adonoo. The hashtag, as always, is City Newsroom. First story, Akosua.
Some residents of Wa in the Upper West region today massed up at the forecourt of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council to demand the body of a 28-year-old man who was killed by the police last Wednesday. The residents, who are mostly youth, also demanded that the police should clear the deceased of any wrongdoing before the body is released for burial. Some personnel of the anti-robbery unit of the Ghana Police Service allegedly killed Abubakar Shahid for his alleged involvement in a robbery syndicate. The angry residents, however, insisted the deceased was innocent of the crime. Here are some of the residents.
The guy is not a criminal. He's not a known thief in the community. But if the police should admit that it was a straight bullet that gets to him, we all believe that death is real. Like in the verse, every living soul will chase death. Then we will take it like that. Do whatever we're supposed to do in the Islamic way. Then we pray to God. But if they want to give a bad reputation to a small boy whom everybody knows in the community to be very charitable, honest and obedient, there we said no, we won't agree. If not him, but tomorrow it will be someone else. And again, I have a question to ask. Policing, as we all know, is about intelligence, wisdom, and other things to mention, but few. But now, policing is now described with arrogance due to the emergence of this particular team that came, these anti-robbers. I've been seeing them where they shot my younger brother. There's no police post there. There's no street lighting there. How can you stop someone and he will know that it is police?
So you heard voices of some residents of Wa in the Upper West region.
Let's go to Wa again and speak to Mohammed Tamin, who is a youth leader at Dondilo, and he organized the youth group today, and who massed up at the Regional Coordinating Council to demand justice for the 28-year-old man. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Can you kindly bring us up to speed on what the situation has been? How did the police get to kill this gentleman you are fighting for?
Good evening, my brother, and good evening to your cherished listeners. And thank you for the audience and time given. Well, it was on Wednesday night at about 7 to 8 when my younger brother, Shahid Abubakar, who left Dondoli, a suburb of Wa, to Tembileju at the Dero electoral area to pick his friend who is not well and have his residence there. So on his way going, he met these people called anti-robbers from the Ghana Police Unit. They shot him, and this man that he was going to pick, the Fulani man, heard of a gunshot and called my brother, tried online. If you are already on your way coming to pick me, please don't come. There's gunshot in and around our residence. And he said, I'm already wounded. I've been sustained with gun injuries. I'm on the floor line now. This was the reply I gave to the man he was going to pick. One, Omar Hamidu. Then, Omar then called me and said, Malam, if you are home, quickly rush to my neighborhood. Shahid was coming to pick me to my other house at Dondole. But this is the situation he got himself in. He said that police shot him.
I see. So yes, go ahead.
So quickly, I called the assembly member who is also a close friend, one Mr. Rashid. I called him and asked him to render an assistance to me because my younger brother has been shot at his electoral area. Said that once I do the follow-up. He was very close to the area. He quickly arrived there as the first police unit, that is Snapchat. That was there. They said, oh, they are not aware of any incident that happened here. But he can proceed further where the Fulani State. Where I'm talking of is within Wa Municipal, not more than 200 meters away from the Jahang Training College. Then the assemblyman proceeded and met those people. They said, please go back. He said, no, I'm the assemblyman. Ahead of an incident, which I'm coming to inquire. They said, okay, if you are the assemblyman, they will grant you audience. But before we do so, go to the police station and wait for us. My friend called me whilst I was on my way. I met him. We all went back to the police station. And where they directed him to go was the district CID unit. We went there. They came back. Two of my brothers who were fast enough to approach them and said, we've heard that you had an incident with our younger brother. Where is he? Because when they came with one other suspect with handcuffs in him. So they said, oh, you came with one person, but we heard that you had an issue with our brother. Where is he? The one you shot. What the guy said, you can't talk to us now. We are still on our mission, operation mission. So until we finish, we can't talk to you. He said, oh, we want to know his whereabouts. Maybe he might be seriously wounded. Since you are here and he's not with you, direct us where he is so that we can go for his rescue. And he said, you are challenging our authority. And if you joke, we take you behind bars. There the other brother said, no, you can't do that. He's trying to inquire. He's a human being. His brother has his right. There they said, okay, you two, you are also challenging. Then they decided to beat. About 10 policemen, they were beating these people, trying to tear their dresses. At some, they even went home without slippers. The way they were beating them mercilessly pushed them into the district CID unit. There, I and the assemblyman went in to again plead that they should leave them. As soon as they lead them, we wanted to inquire again about where our brother was. They said, we cannot because we are going by one of the captives or one of those we've arrested from Sajia and from that Nadoli Kelio or the Japa district. That's where they arrested him. Because he and one other guy that they brought to the station, they were leading them to apprehend the 10 suspects around that area. So when we got there, that man escaped with our handcuffs. As of now, he ran away with our handcuffs. Unless you go look for him, as we have no answer or no explanation to give to anybody. So you can go back and they left with the car again. There we went back home. The next morning, I asked my brothers to go and search from the various hospitals. Maybe they may dump him there. Lo and behold, they went to the regional hospital and he was already lying down there at the mortuary.
Oh, so he died. So you know, he was shot, but you guys didn't know where he was. And then by the time you realized he was in the morgue.
In the mortuary, that was the next morning.
So which part of his body was shot? Do you know?
My brother, you will lament it if you see. Even those hunting wild animals will not shoot an animal that way. 2 bullets to his stomach, 1 to his arm, all the front arm. None came from behind. But they claim that this guy was one of the culprits that the suspect called. When he ambushed them, then he left his motorbike and he was running and they shot him. My brother, if someone is running and you want to shoot, I think you shoot from behind. That's the back. It's either the occiput or around the spinal cord. But this guy was shot at his stomach. I was at the mortuary to look at him. You will lament it. They shot him 2 at his stomach, 1 at his arm.
Your brother, what job was he doing? What was he involved in before they arrested him? What kind of job was he doing?
Yes, my brother is a student, an Arabic student.
Arabic student where?
At Dondole. Dondole is a secular community where with this orthodox knowledge of Arabic is well versed, and we have a lot of people from University of Azhar that are there studying people. If you want, you can join a school, the government school, and if you want to, you can join them. So he was with us under the care of Sheikh Hissam, a graduate of Azhar University.
So who might have taken him to the hospital? Would you know?
It is the police. When we went there, the hospital, they said it is the police that they brought him and dumped him. And the name they gave to the emergency unit was that Ibrahim Man. If you go there to check on their files, what is there is Ibrahim Man, the name they gave to them. So even if you were hunting for Ibrahim Man, meaning what the one you saw, it's not Ibrahim Man. His name is Shahid Abubakar, who was born on 22nd of this month, that's March, 1986.
So do you know whether he was sent dead or he died whilst at the hospital?
According to the nurse who was in charge, they said he only breathed once. Before they dropped him, he just breathed once, and that was all.
And what did the police say when they dropped him there? What did the nurses or the hospital authorities say the police told them?
When they went there, the police said that he is an armed robber. They shot, and they are bringing him to them while they are going to apprehend the other suspect who ran away with their handcuffs.
Do you know whether your brother might have, engaged in some altercation or argument with the police when he was stopped or when he was asked to obey an instruction?
Wow, this question is, I'm very, very happy because he was born nurtured in Dondele. I know him. He's my errand boy. Everybody in the community knows him. The number of people that went out crying is because that guy, very, very charitable, hospitable, obedient, and myself and reliable. Whatever you ask him to do, he does exactly that. If he can, he will laugh and say, "Oh, please, this one, I need assistance."
So do you know? Yes, go ahead.
I'm listening, please.
Yes, do you know? Would you perchance know any of the police people who carried out the operation and who dropped him at the hospital?
My brother, they are called the anti-robbers unit. I'm told they just came to the region. I'm told they have their headquarters at Accra and one in Kumasi. And you know the funny thing, I was with them that night when they were blaming each other how 10 men would let one single person run away with handcuffs in both hands. And you decide to just shoot someone. Why couldn't you fire him when he was running away? How distant was he with you? I was sitting beside. Well, while they were beating the other people, we tried rescuing them. You know, the other people, they're somewhere sitting outside. And we were all sitting in dark.
But how did you get to be around the place? Because when your brother was shot, you were not there. So how did you come to be where they started arguing among themselves that somebody ran away with a handcuff?
It was done at the CID unit, district CID unit at Wa, very close to my house. You know, I told you earlier on my narration that when I called the assemblyman to go for my rescue, to go and assess my brother Wasakam, because it happened in his electoral area, and he was very close to that area. They directed him that he should go back to the police station and wait for them. On my way, he said that they said he should go and wait. Then we went there together. I was sitting there while they were having the other suspect. You know, initially they arrested 2 suspects from a certain district, whom I was told they went and robbed. So they went and apprehended them, brought them to Watown, trying to investigate. And according to them, the suspect said they have another person who stays around where they shot my brother. But the funny thing is that policing, as we all know, decency, obedience, intelligence, integrity is part of policing. To my best of understanding, as it used to be.
Yes. But have you heard from the police since the incident occurred? Has anybody from the police service called you to tell you anything?
My brother, they always decline in talking to us, nor even the media. Except when we send our message to the municipal chief executive yesterday by the authorization of the family head. And today we proceeded to meet the chairman of RESEC, that's the RM, in his office with the same issue. There, their messages was coming out. We even went further to ask one of our brothers to inquire. They were said, oh, he's an armed robber. He's an armed robber. And this guy has never for once stolen a friend ice cream in the family house. Said that you could say that whilst he was doing it, they say charity begins at home. That prompted him to join others in doing it. He has never done such. That is why most people are very brief, had burden over the incident. If it was that he was somebody we know with some cruel, some negative behavior, or a known thief, not just a criminal, a known thief in the community, nobody will go out to say anything.
Very well. So when you met the minister, what did he say about the situation? What did he say? What was his version of the situation?
We sent a proposal.
That's what?
This what has happened to our brother. On Wednesday, we met the chairman of the MUSEC, that's the municipal chief executive, and we are to proceed to you. And thank God you are all indigenous from the region. You might have inquired through your own ways to know about the boy. He is not of such character.
Yes, but what did he say after all of that? What did he say?
We said that, and the regional minister assured us of justice and fairness.
I see. So what will justice mean for you?
Justice will mean that the police should go out and say that was a mistake. It might be a straight bullet they shot due to the guy they apprehended who wanted to escape, and it hurt our brother. This a known thing. We all know that life, death is real. Even in the Quranic verse, it says, "Kulli nafsin za'iqatul maut." Every living soul will taste death, and there they will know how to compensate their family. Else, it is one God. we also, but one other thing I want to put across is that they should not let us lose our trust and confidence in the police service.
So have they given you?
Yes,
have they given you the body?
Yes, please.
So what has happened to you? Have you buried the body yet?
Yes, the body has been buried.
Very well.
At the late Dr. Sule's Memorial Cemetery.
Very well. Mohammed, thank you very much for speaking to us. Have our sympathies, and we hope that you will get justice as you embark on this. Mohammed Tamin is a youth leader at Dondoli in the Upper West region, and they are demanding justice for their brother, Abubakar Shahid, who was killed by the police, they tell us. Now let's speak to Isahaku Tahiru Momen, who is the municipal chief executive for the Wa area. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. I'm sure, obviously, I mean, you would have heard of this indeed. The gentleman I spoke to said they came to you to report to you. Can you confirm to us whether indeed there was an operation of that nature in this specific area in question on the day of the incident? Yes, I'm saying that. Can you confirm to us whether there was a police operation, in the nature as we've described, in the particular area we are talking about, the Dondoli area?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I would want to thank you so much, and also thank who has just dropped the line, for giving an account of what has happened. And I'm thanking him because they have demonstrated maturity in this issue and have shown that law-abiding people who would not love to take the law into seeking for justice or probably revenge. So, as whether I can confirm the issue, the happening of it at Dondoli, yes, the issue has occurred, but not at Dondoli, but at a different place, as was reported by the family. So I want to say that it was only when the family came to report the incident to me that the issue came into my attention, because no agent or official has reported the matter to me until the family to narrate the incident. It was then after I also decided to go outside, the comfort zone to find out what really occurred and who was the individual involved. So we did that, and I thank them so much, and then I also encourage them, and then appeal to them to still remain calm while authorities go into the issue to look for what really happened, and how justice can be served. And we know issues of this nature, it requires tact and patience. And that is exactly what we have been doing.
So what did your briefing from the police say? You are the head of the Municipal Security Council. I'm sure by now you'd have summoned the district police commander and all of those people there to give you some briefing on the matter. What have they been telling you?
Yes, I summoned an emergency security council meeting, and a lot of issues came up. The police gave out their side as against what the family also did. And two accounts are different entirely. So what the family said, the police are saying is entirely different. But then I was also born and bred in this specific locality, to say, state. So the guy in question and the family in question where the guy is coming from, truth be told, I'll be hesitant, the guy indeed, is an armed robber until maybe.
Yes, are you there? So you're saying that, given the fact that you come from the area and you I mean, knowing the family, well, I think we lost Isahaku Tahiri was making a very important point in respect of what he's thinking of what the two accounts were. He said the two accounts were totally different. The family said something else, and when he summoned the police officer, or the police, the emergency security meeting, the head of the police team in the area also gave a very different account, and the two accounts very, very, very different, and he's been trying to reconcile the two. But he's just telling us that he would be surprised, knowing the family and the area and everything. He will actually be hesitant until he sees some good proof that indeed the gentleman was an armed robber. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We're working the lines to get him back to conclude the point he was making. So possibly put a few questions to him and see where the matter goes. We have him back on the line. So Honorable Tahiru Muman, you were saying that you hesitate to accept that the gentleman, knowing who he was, would be an armed robber. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is what I have said. Until maybe further evidence comes, to suggest that or to confirm the position that is being held now. But as a representative of a system, the municipal chairman to the municipal council, we have gathered our opinion at the MUSEC, and we are forwarding same to the regional security council, for further deliberation. Because the unit that is involved in this matter, we do not have jurisdiction over their operations. So we are referring the issue to the regional security council for further consideration. However, we are also requesting that an independent body should be constituted, to conduct independent investigation into the matter, where the family and the deceased family and other people involved will give their account of what happened, and the police also give their account of what they presume is the situation, so that for this independent body to look at it and come out with a report for us to consider. Because in this case, the police or that particular unit also stand accused by the family of doing something that is not right. So if the family is accusing that particular unit of the police service for engaging in that act, and I don't think it would be right for us to say that that particular unit should investigate the matter.
So the police were insistent that the gentleman, Abubakar Ishaq, indeed was an armed robber. That was the police's conclusion, for which reason they killed him. That's what they told you.
Well, they gave a report, but I'm not corroborating what you have said. They gave a report of what has happened.
Yes, I'm just trying to understand what that report, because you said that what the family said was very different, because the family is insisting that their son was not an armed robber. So if you said it was the police's account was contrary to the family's, it obviously means that the police would insist that the gentleman was an armed robber. You've also told us that you have your own opinion on the matter, and seeing the family, knowing the family and the area and everything, you do not take, or you will hesitate until giving further proof to say that the gentleman indeed was an armed robber, which is quite clear where the direction of MUSEC is. So I'm asking that, are the police still insisting that the gentleman was an armed robber?
Yes, so but these are two accounts that I have given you. So you can infer between the two and look at my position, then also look at the position of the police. So I am not able to give you specific words and statements with regards to the position that we take or
but MC,
I'm giving you our account.
Very well, yes, but my concern is my concern is as MUSEC. As MUSEC, you said you have an opinion on the matter. Your opinion should be very rich, because you had both sides. Yes.
MUSEC has no opinion on the matter. What I've told you is that MUSEC sat on the matter. We invited the people involved, that is the police, they gave their account, and then we also had the account of the family. So looking at it, we have concluded that we will have to refer the matter to the Regional Security Council to set up an independent body to investigate the matter, to bring finality and conclusion, so that where justice lies, it should be served appropriately. So that is what I have said, and that is what I have repeated.
I see. So, yes. Yes.
So that is the situation at the moment.
Very well. But how is the town? I mean, what is the security situation in the town?
Yes, the town is calm because as I started, I told you how the family has been able to manage the tempest. And I indicated to you they have demonstrated law-abiding, situation. And then also they have indicated their resolve to support the system to unearth the truth and the veracity of what happened. For them, their concern is not about getting something in the form of compensation, but for them to clear the name of their son, because they knew they already lost him, but then he should not depart with a name or a tag of an armed robber. That to stay from generation to generation in that family. So that is their concern. And as I indicated, they have given their account, and the police, that unit has also given their account. And as Municipal Security Council, ours is not to adjudicate and to decide and pass judgment. Ours is to ensure peace in the municipality and to ensure that justice is served.
Very well.
And that is exactly what we are doing.
Very well.
So we have been able to speak to the families. They've listened to us and respected our opinion and views, and they've decided and agreed to stay calm. We are forwarding the matter to the Regional Security Council for further consideration, and then also requesting for an independent body to investigate the matter so that the report will be public for everyone to know what really is the situation underground.
Thank you.
And I know if that happens, the family will be happy and pleased with everyone.
Thank you so much.
Yes. This because you are welcome.
Yes. I'm so grateful for your time, Municipal Chief Executive for Wa Isaaku Tahiru Movement, for speaking to us on this sad situation. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Your messages have been coming in thick and fast. General Otchere says, Selorm, why does the nation seem to be facing intelligence failure? We are in a volatile region and we must put our acts together and get our priorities right. It's clear the center is not holding in the general administration of the country. You said Ghana is bleeding and God should save us. Mama Bakojo from Assume says the military is not above the law and they know this case falls within the mandate of the police. Well, that's a different matter. Fianoga in Abo says, why should the police kill suspected armed robbers? The police should change their ways of operations in this country. Tayson Designs in Ho says, why are people in uniform abusing the citizens whose taxes they are used to pay them? It's becoming one too many. Our brothers in uniform are our own friends and family, but immediately they put on their uniform, they behave differently, and you ask why. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. You remember Professor Frimpong-Boateng. You also remember the saga of the missing excavators. Professor Frimpong-Boateng has been saying that it was a deliberate attempt by his colleagues in government and in the party to hound him out of office. We'll tell you more when you return.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Oh, Jack, now, where are you in a hurry to?
Child, I'm going to Imperial to do my car insurance.
What's happening there? Because Info and Yaba also told me they're going there this morning for their car insurance.
Master, you haven't heard. No, the Imperial is the name in insurance in Ghana here.
Really?
Share. Imperial General is saying, come insure your vehicle with them at any of their branches or agents or even online from now till the end of March 2023 and get yourself handsome rewards, fuel coupons, special souvenirs, gift vouchers, and many, many more. And here's the catch. During this reward period, you will also get a free 1-year life insurance cover in addition to your motor insurance cover.
What the wow? So does it include with the taxi drivers and the e-taxis?
Hey, everybody qualifies. So just come insure your car and you are done. Call 0302 788 955 for further details. T's and C's apply. Imperial General Assurance. Solid protection.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Now, former Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Frimpong-Boateng, says there was a grand scheme within government and the MPP to get him out of office. Professor Frimpong-Boateng says allegations that over 500 excavators went missing under his watch were untrue. Speaking to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Professor Frimpong-Boateng says persons within government wanted him out because of his stances against Galamsey mining.
It is no excavator, 500 excavator. Who said that? It was somebody who threw that into the
media space.
Yeah, it's the media space to tag something on Frimpong-Boateng. What am I doing for 500 excavators?
What really happened, Prof? What's the true story?
The true story is that at the start of the Operation Vanguard thing, the soldiers were supposed to arrest the excavators. And they go into the forest where they are doing the mining, and they remove the control board.
Okay.
So if they remove 20 control boards today, they will report that they have immobilized 20 control boards.
Once they are removed, there's no way those excavators can move.
Can move. But then when you go away, they'll bring new control boards and fix them, and then and off they go. So we got a report that they had immobilized over 750 something excavators. So we appointed somebody to go around and check. When we went around, I think we got about 150, 200 that we could see. Okay. The rest had either been given to the owners or they put in some extra parts and moved them away.
Okay.
And then somebody put it out there, Frimpong-Boateng has taken 500 square. What am I going to do with it? There was an orchestrated scheme, even within the party and government.
To get you out.
To get you out. So that, look, why is it when I left, now everybody is in the forest? At that time, you dare not enter the forest.
Yeah.
You know, but as I said, I don't want to go into details now because I have a lot to say on that. But let me tell you that I did not take one excavator for anything. And they know the truth. Now, things are coming up. We know those who are behind it, and the party people who are there, people in government, including Jubilee House, who are doing Galamsey and so on, even now. So let Frimpong-Boateng stay in his corner and enjoy his retirement.
Former Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Frimpong-Boateng.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I'm sure you recall all those episodes of excavators, missing excavators, flying excavators, about 500 of them or so. We heard they were parked at a place around Adringano, etc. Now, the man in the center of it all says there was nothing like that. What is your version of the matter? Let's know via WhatsApp line 0549986996. Professor Frimpong-Boateng says all those matters regarding missing excavators, etc., were a calculated scheme or attempt by his fellow government officials at the time and some party officials who wanted him out of government. So all those were schemes that they plotted against him. That's what he's saying. What do you think? 0549-986-996. We turn our attention to some other stories.
Now, the Ministry of Defense says the salaries of soldiers and police officers have been tripled to enhance their standard of living. The ministry says the government has made adequate investments in the security apparatus of the country over the years. The Minister of Defense, Dominic Nitowo, made this known during a debate on the State of the Nation address by the President.
Not just the hardware that this president has invested in. It's not just the recruitment drive that this president has done for the security agencies. Mr. Speaker, for the armed forces in particular, the salaries and allowances of armed forces have been more than tripled. It's the same thing with the police service. It's the same thing with the other security service. Because a hungry soldier is an angry soldier. A hungry soldier is an angry soldier. That is the reason why it is important to make sure that our security agencies are well taken care of. It is not just increasing the United Nations daily allowance for soldiers that we have done. We have also made sure that their allowances, their facilities, and their salaries have been increased tremendously. Mr. Speaker, the President goes ahead to talk about the massive housing infrastructure he's putting in place for both the soldiers, the police, and the other security.
Dominic Nitowo is Minister of Defense. Away from that, the First Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei-Owusu, is calling on Ghanaians to avoid having another hung parliament, as he says the situation has made the current legislature less efficient as compared to the 7th Parliament. He wants Ghanaians to vote massively for either NPP or NDC in the 2024 general elections to make one political party have an overwhelming majority in the House. According to him, the 7th Parliament, for instance, passed over 100 laws, but the current Parliament, which is in its third year, has passed less than 10 laws. Citing the approval of ministerial nominees and nominees to the Supreme Court as an example, he stated that there is less cooperation and the minority tends to oppose almost all government's decisions. Speaking exclusively to Citi News, he stated that the lack of effective collaboration is adversely affecting governance in the country.
It's affecting governance generally. Look, ministers, they are ministers appointed by a party, but they work for the whole country. Agree, whatever policy they implement, every farmer, both sides, enjoy it. And when you go into a community, you don't go and look for who are this or that. So when there's no performance, when the policies are not being implemented, then what you get is non-performance, and it affects the whole country. So it will affect governance generally. I am saying Ghanaians should, the next time, vote more. If they want MPP to be majority, give them more. If you want NDC to be majority, this one is affecting governance very badly. Should I say that? The 7th Parliament, probably because of the numbers, we passed the highest number of laws ever since 1993. We passed over 100 laws. It has never happened. And this Parliament, this is our third year. I doubt whether we have made even 10 laws. Yes. Because one, the level of cooperation that used to exist in Parliament that I saw, 1st, 7th, no, it's no longer there. On every little matter, people argue, go back and come back, because we have numbers, we are equal. If Mr. Speaker is not there, 137, 137. If Mr. Speaker is there and one of your members is not there, so you are watching, who is not there today? This group has traveled, let's put it in. And then they say, no, if we put it today, we can't do. They will find all kinds of means to frustrate the work. So, when this Parliament was inaugurated, I granted an interview and I said that I expect even greater cooperation. But I judged wrong. The closeness has made us unfruitful as a Parliament. I mean, look at where we are with Supreme Court judges. What is the basis for – objecting to their nomination? Nothing. We won't support two. I said these two, we won't support them. Why? There's nothing on record to show that they failed to demonstrate that they are sufficiently competent, or they did anything wrong that they barred them from being promoted from Court of Appeal or High Court, Supreme Court. But she just said, we are in a minority. We won't support them. So you need all your 137 members to be present at any point in time to be able to pass them. New ministers. Look at a huge ministry like Agric and Trade. In fact, Ghana, technically, ask me, these are the two major economic activities, Agric and Trade. Agric and Trade, if you put them together, they cover about 80% of all economic activities. And yet, they have no ministers now because they say, we are the minority, we will not support them. In the past, it wasn't like that. The majority cooperated with the minority, even though the numbers were big, were still accommodated when they had special differences. But today, even when they have no real issue. For example, this vetting we did, what issue came up? Nothing. None of these people is not they are all MPs, right? And by law, the qualification to be a minister is to be an MP. So once you're an MP, the only thing that will disqualify you is that you must have done something wrong, which if it were known, you would not have qualified to be an MP. So unless you can show that any one of them have done any such thing, there's no business for holding them. But as they want to misuse of power.
Are you working towards engaging them?
Engagement has been going on left, right, center. These people are talking, that people are talking. But hey, we're in a different regime.
You heard the voice of the MP for Bekwai and First Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei-Usu.
Interesting thoughts there. Let's test these thoughts by another MP who is on the minority side, Samonete George, MP for Ningo Pram. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Your colleague, indeed, your First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, says that this Parliament has been very unproductive, very inefficient because of the closeness of the numbers. What do you think?
Hi, Selorm. Good evening, and good evening to our listeners. The position by the Honourable Joseph Owusu is it's an interesting one. It's one that lends itself to debate because you cannot dismiss it and say it has no substance in it. However, you can also not say that it is entirely correct. It depends on which side you're sitting on. Bearing in mind that he has most times also been on the receiving end of some of the what he will call the downsides of a very close pairing in the House, 137, when he presides. We have to end up in the Supreme Court with whether he could vote and all of that. But the point is, this Parliament has become the closest thing to people having a chance to have representatives who are not a rubber stamp. Because when you look at the other parliaments, for example, the 7th Parliament, where Joseph Owusu again was First Deputy Speaker to Michael Quay, you have an instance where, irrespective of the substance of the argument of the minority, there was the, for want of a better phrase, almost nonchalant attitude to whatever the minority said. It was, you say whatever you want to say, we will have our way at the end of the day. It lends itself to a problem for our democracy when Parliament is reduced to a majority that is overwhelming and a majority that is just seen to be an extension or an appendage of the executive arm of government because they do not want to offend their principal in government. People are looking to catch the eye of the president in a possible reshuffle. And so everything that government brings, irrespective of the value or position in it, just finds its way walking through Parliament. That in itself cannot be an ideal situation. And that's what I'm saying, that there is merit to what he's saying, but there's also challenges in what he's saying. Has it raised a more cantankerous relationship or a more strained relationship on the floor of the House? Absolutely. But I think that in itself speaks to the failure of leadership on the part of the government side. Because don't forget, the government side is the one that generates business and brings business to. And when I say business, I mean the work of Parliament. They bring government business to the floor. It behoves on the government side to not think that because they are termed the majority, they could just run roughshod over everybody, but to have proper scrutiny of government proposals and government business, and to also engage properly and proactively across the aisle. But what you have seen is a posturing of a leadership on the other side that is not necessarily lending itself to compromise and lending itself to cooperation, but still feels that because they are in government and they are majority, they should have their way. So that's where the challenge really is. The ability for leadership on the government side to reach over and across the aisle and try to build consensus on issues before it even comes, and to be able to stand united and say that, look, this position is the position of the executive, but as representatives of the people, it isn't the right thing to do. Take, for example, the CI. This CI that is being pushed by the Electoral Commission. There are members of the government side whose constituents are on their necks on a daily basis asking for Ghana cards. They are unable to get the Ghana cards for them, even if they are members of the majority, because the NIA just simply doesn't have the funds. And so the printing of Ghana cards has slowed down across the country. Yet, even when they admit to this and complain about this in private conversation, because of political expediency, you have them jumping ahead of themselves in defense of a CI that we all know in its current shape and form will be problematic in disenfranchising Ghanaian citizens who are our constituents.
Sam, he also mentioned he gave a few examples. So, for example, the vetting of the recent, persons for the ministerial positions. He talked about trade and he talked about agri. As we speak, these two ministries do not have substantive ministers. And he says there's really no reason why you should not approve or pass these people. There's absolutely no reason. And if there's anything having to do with qualification, indeed, they are members of Parliament, and by law, it's the same qualification to be minister. So why are you holding it back? Now, business in these two ministries, which are key, he says, business is slowing down. Nothing really is happening because there's no substantive head. Is that not slowing down government business?
I mean, that's an unfair position to make. If you really have an understanding of what the minority's position is. The minority's position is not that, we just don't want to have an agri minister, a trade minister. Our argument is fundamentally simple. But even the diplomatic community has made it clear to the government that the size of government is unhealthy. Government is obese. Government has to go on a diet program to restructure the ministries and realign them and streamline government into a leaner, trimmer, and healthier shape. This is the point we're making. And so if as Parliament, and this again is just the point I ended the last submission on, if as Parliament we're being mindful of what the real needs of the country are and not what partisan political consideration is, you would have had the majority side join the minority side in saying, look, the executive needs to reduce the numbers. How do you reduce the numbers? Yes, you want to have a trade minister and an agri minister substantive, but do you need a minister of state at local government, where you have a minister for local government and you have a deputy or two deputies already? Do you need a minister of state for finance, where you have a minister of finance and two deputies? This is the excessive waste that we are speaking about, but that the respective first deputy Deputy Speaker is failing to come to terms with, that it is behoving on them as members of Parliament to be concerned about issues that affect the ordinary Ghanaian, and not say that because our president has gone ahead, even when everybody is saying, and it is obvious that the size of government is problematic, one will short, approve everybody. That's what the problem is. Because if they had worked with the minority and sent a signal to the executive that, look, we will not countenance and tolerate unnecessary portfolios, like having ministers of state there, like not being able to subsume the minister for chieftaincy and religious affairs under the Ministry of Creative Arts. If we don't do this as a way of saving costs, we will not support it. These are the issues that we're raising. So it is not as though the minority are just choosing to say we are not going to approve ministers. No, it's failing to look at the critical underlying issues that we're raising. We're raising fundamental issues of principle and policy. But that's the problem. You see, this case highlights what the challenge is. The mere fact that the speaker, the deputy speaker, is unable to appreciate the real nitty-gritty of the argument we're making is why we're having an impasse in the House. Because as one of the highest-ranking members of the NPP, he fails to grasp appreciate
the situation
the argument we're making.
The situation really should be very frustrating for government, and I think that shows in his submission. So would we say that this is what we'll be seeing? There will be no change in direction. The minority will be as resolute as it has been in its response to government programs, or the two sides will find a way of working together. Can you guys guarantee that for us?
What I can guarantee you is that the minority will continue to work in the best interest of the Ghanaian people. That's what I can guarantee you. I can't guarantee you cooperation with the government because I don't know how the government is going to act. Is the government going to be acting in the best interest of the Ghanaian people? Absolutely, we will cooperate with them on that. But I do not have any hope. I do not have any confidence in the fact that this government, giving its 6-year track record, in its 7th year now, will begin to change. A leopard never changes its sport. And so, for me, looking at how this government has operated in the last 6 years, I don't foresee them acting 100% in the best interest of the taxpayer and the Ghanaian people. And so we can't promise a compromise with them. What we can promise you is that we'll be guided by our conscience, and every action that we take and every decision and position that the minority caucus will take, and that position will be in tandem with the wishes and aspirations of the Ghanaian people. The government is minded by that, they will have our cooperation. Anything other than that, we can't guarantee that cooperation.
Sam Natejo, thank you so much. Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram. Thank you so much for speaking to us on this matter. Let's take another interview. Dr. Rashid Rahman is Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, ACEPA. He joins us on the line for some quick thoughts. Hello, good evening, Doc. Welcome to Eyewitness News. We all thought that having a hung parliament was a blessing and that the populace will now have real value for money. But that doesn't appear to be the case. What do you think?
No, I mean, it is the case. I mean, it is just, Selorm, it is just that I think both parties over the years have been used to the convenience of a majority. And so they haven't been used to, what many, particularly Northern European countries have been used to. I mean, the politics of negotiation, the politics of give and take, the politics of compromise. We are used to the politics of winner takes all. So we have the numbers, we come to Parliament, we get our way, whether it's in the interest of the people or not. This arrangement is very inconveniencing for them. And that is why I believe we are hearing this, claim that it is slowing government business.
But is that not a fact? You have ministerial vettings conducted, yet you won't pass the people. And indeed, there was a fiat issued by the party of the minority that do not pass them. So what really is the point? There's been some vetting of Supreme Court judges. You say you will pass two, you won't pass the other two. What really are the reasons? Are these not slowing down government business?
I don't really think so, Selorm. I think the minority has made some demands. And I believe if you flip the coin and the other side is in the minority, they are going to behave in the same way. Even if government business has to be slowed in order for us to do the right thing, I believe that is better than rushing things. Because let me just give you an example, Selorm. I've been following this parliament for more than close to 30 years now. For the first time, I've gotten to know that parliament has really the power of the purse. And it is only possible because we have a hung parliament. And so anybody who says this is slowing government business, like Honorable Sam George was saying, who in this country, including you and I, hasn't said that, the size of our government is too big. And I think on this one, many would support the position of the minority. There are other instances when, yes, I think they're in politics. But I think on some of these things, really, at this time that all of us cannot afford a decent living, we are taking a lot of haircuts and so on. And you heard the diplomatic community, as you said, the German ambassador was out and so on. If government is not cutting costs and cutting its size, then they are asking you and me to cut our size. I think that if this is frustration to the other side, perhaps so be it. But I believe it's just basically the fact that both parties have not been used to the inconvenience of negotiating, of getting to compromise, and working in the interest of the people. At the end of the day, with their numbers, both NDC and MPP over the years, what we have seen is they get their way. But now I think there are some breaks that are put in every step, and that I believe at some point, if you are not used to it, then you begin to see it as slowing government business. But I think that's the normal course of politics that we see in democracies that work.
I see. So how really should we be assessing the parliament? Jose Usu makes the point that in the last parliament, over 100 laws were passed. But, 2.5 years into this parliament, he doesn't even think 10 laws have been passed. One of the primary jobs of parliament really is to pass laws. And so if the situation in the House is making them default on that principal function, then that really should be a problem.
Well, I think they see that as their principal function, but citizens see their principal function as, exercising the power of the purse. Still, a number of laws have been passed, but I don't think that Parliament has maybe taken a pause to assess the quality of those laws. So that is a question. Are we dealing with quantity or are we dealing with quality? So if, scrutiny is taking place, if a lot of due diligence is being done so that we get better laws, I think I will go for that rather than, having so many laws, some of which do not make sense. Because, if you do a post-legislative scrutiny of some of these laws, I believe we will find a lot of flaws because, proper scrutiny was not done before these laws were passed. For instance, the Public Financial Management Act says that, when before a law, a bill, goes through all the processes, there has to be some cost-benefit analysis, some documentation accompanying this. Over the years, this has been glossed over sometimes. And then we pass laws. I believe if you begin, scrutinizing some of these laws, you might realize that, perhaps they cannot do the job that they are intended to do. Just because, the numbers were there over the years. So the thing goes through the process, and then people are discouraged, even to speak out because, at the end of the day, when you speak out, they will call the numbers, and then when it becomes the numbers game, that, even if you are right, your voice, will be dwarfed by the big numbers from the other side. So I think, Selorm, there is the need for us to do a much more critical analysis of this situation we find ourselves. And before we can make any pronouncements as to whether the fact that, scrutiny is being done, there is a careful examination of everything that comes before Parliament, is that slowing down government business? That is the case. Yes, I think that's what the Ghanaian people want. And again, I mean, one of the Right Honourable Speaker is saying Ghanaians should never vote for this. Well, I mean, I don't think that the members of Parliament have a say in terms of how we vote. I mean, in terms of how we vote, I think how we vote is determined by their behavior in the House and by the behavior of the parties. Maybe we are even going to get worse than this. I'm predicting that one day we'll get to a point where one party will control the presidency and another party will control the legislature. And that is where we would even see kind of more serious need for negotiation and for compromise.
Thank you so much. Dr. Rashid Draman, very interesting views you have there. Very, very interesting views. We'll speak about this some other time. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Akosua has some more stories.
Yes, Reverend Adotey Memorial School has emerged the winner amongst 10 schools which contested in the Better Malt Flip It Arts Recycling Challenge organized by Accra Brewery PLC. The competition was held to unearth the creative abilities of young people in recycling plastic waste for meaningful purposes. The school scored 85 points for designing a hat with 675 recycled bottles of Better Malt with other materials. The winner took home a cash prize of 10,000 cedis, with the other two competitors receiving 7,000 and 5,000 cedis respectively. The others received souvenirs. And speaking to Citi News, a junior high school 3 student with the Reverend Adotey Memorial School, Deborah Doreen, expressed her excitement about the feat and thanked all who contributed to the project.
We only make Better Malt bottles and other stuff to help create the Zana hat or summer hat. We got it from the idea of the nordness. Their fishermen and farmers always use this building as relaxation. They relax in it after a hard day's work while their women cook for them to eat. We couldn't find so much bottles, but others helped to find them, so it went on well. I feel proud. I feel proud of my school for making it possible. I feel proud of the people who helped in the competition.
You had a student of Reverend Adotey Memorial School, Deborah Doreen. Meanwhile, the head of marketing at the Accra Brewery PLC, Chuka Naobi, stressed the need to encourage children to protect the environment by recycling plastic waste.
We often call them leaders of tomorrow, but we believe that they can lead us today. They can show us what it means to take care of our environment today. So the first step is this cleanup exercise. Is this exercise to turn around this waste plastic into creative art. But that's just the first step. The next step becomes the way to continuously encourage reusing and not disposing of this plastic waste. So what we've done right now is we've provided these recycling bins in all the schools to encourage them to drop their used bottles in these bins. And it's a continuous process. And we can't do it alone, to be honest. We need every one of us, including you, to join us to really help us to take care of our environment. When you drink something, don't throw the bottle on the floor. Take it and recycle it somewhere or reuse it, something interesting. I hope that with this art that we are going to see today, we can be encouraged and inspired to turn this plastic waste into something more tangible, something more creative that we can all use to help our environment.
Head of marketing at the Accra Brewery PLC, Chuka Naobi.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Your messages have been coming in thick and fast. Holy in Borga says, what's Joe Osewusu talking about? Does he understand cooperation? What did he do when the speaker left after the minority rejected the budget? He should keep quiet. Sami from North Kaneshi says, why didn't Professor Frimpong-Boateng say this long time ago until now? He should mention names now. Time for City Business News. And Netele Nete Ajaho is here. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you. Can't feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz. And he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
One gunner, pet. Just one gunner.
Yo, bro, I beg, make you give me correct shock absorber. Or make a do video concept, then take the Gaussian P for the engine show you.
Hey, yawa humache. Every morning you the tear calls, they browse. Actually, something they there.
Hey, Tago, the way town make hot. I grow best one if it be you where you get Vodafone 1 Ghana promo them out. 20 minutes talk time to call all networks. Where you start get data and 1 gig from 5 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. Bye. How can you go do pass me safe, Ankasa? You dial *530# make we enjoy. You go fit subscribe as many times as you want.
Yes, plantain chips.
Yo, sweet Ama, take this by Vodafone 1 Ghana bundle. Moku vibe plus video calls and taste. You catch the vibe. Early morning, 5 a.m. sharp.
Vodafone, further together. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, powered by citibusinessnews.com. Let's settle for the details now. The Ghana Revenue Authority is urging business operators to embrace the EVAT system to enhance their daily transactions. The authority maintains that the EVAT helps streamline the discomfort associated with the manual tax collection system. This comment was made by the Assistant Commissioner of VAT Administration at the authority, Philip Akwa, on the sidelines of a quarterly tax series dialogue organized by the UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce in partnership with PwC Ghana.
We have several benefits to businesses, right? For example, if you are in the informal sector and you don't have your own record keeping, this system allows you to keep record, right? It allows you to see how much sales you've made on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, such that you'll be able to do simple accounting. Every business wants to know how much profit they made, correct? And you also be able to track how much purchases that you've made, right? So that at the end of the day, you see, this is my sales, this is my purchase, this is how much profit I'm making, right? Businesses thrive on the basis of profitability, right? So if you're running a business and you don't even know the profit that you're making, then it doesn't help you in any way. So this system helps businesses to formalize their operations, which is extremely important. And that is why we are encouraging all taxpayers, especially those in the informal sectors or traders, to be onboarded onto the system.
Philip Akwa is the Assistant Commissioner of VAT Administration at the Ghana Revenue Authority. With the growing climate uncertainties and mounting financial needs for climate adaptation and mitigation, businesses in the country are being urged to take up a greater role in the fight against climate change. Data from the Africa Policy Research Institute indicates that climate finance is not reaching the local level as expected because just about 3.5% out of the $1.3 billion climate finance inflows to Ghana from 2011 to 2019 were spent on climate adaptation initiatives and respond to the harsh realities of climate change. Executive Director of the Ghana Climate Innovation Center, Ruka Sanusi, has been speaking on the issue.
In climate change, we are facing one of the world's greatest threats, a man-made disaster at a global scale. Without exception, every country in the world is experiencing the devastating effects of climate change. On average, 2.5 million people have been displaced by climate or weather-related events each year since 2008. And climate change directly impacts agricultural yields, as it does the world's food security. And according to the UNEP, the environmental agency of the UN, it is estimated that climate change adaptation costs will range between 140 to 300 billion US dollars per annum. If left unchecked, climate change will reverse the progress that we have made over the past decades in development and undermine the efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Climate change poses serious threats to sustainable development because the impacts of environmental change, they're never gender neutral, and neither are the responses to them.
Ruka Sanusi is Executive Director of the Ghana Climate Innovation Center. Players in the cocoa processing value chain are encouraging farmers to produce organic beans as there's a growing demand for the product. According to them, more businesses are leaning towards the sustainable production of food products devoid of chemicals. Speaking to Citi Business News marketing team lead for chocolate manufacturer Frimpong-Boateng, Ishmael Quay, believes this is the way to go as it also protects the health of farmers.
So the access to the beans has been a challenge because Frimpong-Boateng, we produce only organic chocolates. And by organic, we ensure that the cultivation of the cocoa is not done with the use of pesticides. We check and recheck all the time to ensure that this is our status. Getting organic beans in Ghana is not easy because it's very easy to do the conventional, using the pesticides and all of that. But we want to encourage organic because the use of the chemicals affects the health of the farmer, the health of the environment, and then the end user. So we encourage, and then we also invest in sustainability. So this package you are seeing, everything inside is fully recyclable, meaning that does not affect the environment. So we also want to entreat the cocoa board to make beans available at a very affordable price to the local producers or local cocoa processors so that we can buy and produce more chocolate for the local market. Because when the cocoa beans are expensive, the local processors want to export it so that they can get the profit or the money they invested. And I don't think that in the long run it can promote the consumption of chocolate locally.
Ishmael Quay is the marketing team lead for chocolate manufacturer Frimpong-Boateng. And that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. It was powered by your most comprehensive business website, citibusinessnews.com. My name is Neteli Nete Ajaho. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key? Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Adonoo has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Adonoo. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
If home is where the heart is, then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is. And sometimes, even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Point Blank is dedicated to Heritage Caravan. Indeed, tonight is the last night for the Caravanites. They return tomorrow after a 7-day trip across 14 regions of Ghana. So about 10 patrons of the Heritage Caravan, whose birthdays fell within the dates of the trip, have been celebrated in grand style. The celebration was climaxed at the home of an ardent listener of Citi FM, Mr. William Nkumsa, at Sekondi in the Western region. Mr. Nkumsa hosted the Caravanites to a massive party for the second consecutive time in his house. Here is one of the patrons in a conversation with my colleague Fred Duho.
This is my third time of being on this trip, the Heritage Caravan. Actually, it's very amazing. I live in London and I always come. This is the third time I'm here, as I said, and it's so nice. It tells you the rich culture of the country. We travel from the Great Accra right down to the water, Eastern Ashanti, a lot of things we learn about. So I really enjoyed it.
Someone is wondering in Ghana, what is someone from the UK coming to do in Ghana because of tourism?
Yeah, they don't know what they're missing. Tourism tells you a lot about the country, rich culture, how the country, how people live, everything. So culture, you can't beat it. It's good. That's why I always come here every year. Yeah, I was born and bred in Tema, but because of this Heritage Caravan, I wanted to know Water region, Ashanti, North, Upper East, Upper West, right up to the Central region and Western region.
But why are you not? One would wonder, why do you keep coming? What is that thing that is attracting you and not really saying that, oh, I am tired, this year I'm not going to come again?
Right. First of all, the organizers are doing a fantastic job. Citi FM, Citi Radio, they do so well. The Samens, they know how to work. It's well organized. The hotels are very nice. It's a 5-star hotel. Look, Royal City. It costs about $300 a night. But look, we're paying just for $9,500. You can have all the hotels. Look at this Maha Hotel went to. It's very expensive, but listen, the place is so amazing. Look at the food. Everything's so nice. So I love it. Every year there's an improvement. It's my third time. Every year there's an improvement, and it's getting bigger and better. So I would say that, listen, guys, let's join the train next year. It's going to be bigger next year and better next year as well.
So we look forward to you on that score. So you can hear in the background dancing and drumming going on from the brass band here in Sekondi.
It's so easy. We are having organic fun here. Organic.
So you can hear the loud cheers out there. These are patrons of the 2023 edition of the Heritage Caravan, enjoying themselves to the fullest. And this is happening right here in the home of Mr. and Mrs. Nkumsa, who actually hosted the patrons and treated them to some delicious meal and also marked the birthday party of some patrons on this particular trip.
Well, so you could feel the excitement in the voices of those people there, the patrons of the Heritage Caravan. Whatever they mean by organic enjoyment. Well, I've been joined on the line by Fred Duho, who is the man on the beat. Tonight being the last night on the Caravan. Tell us what they'll be doing tonight and tomorrow morning before they set off for Accra. Hello, Fred. Good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, Point Blank.
Good evening, Council Selorm Adonoo.
You've had the fun of your life, I can tell. What exactly have you people been up to today? This night being the last night. What's the lineup of activities like tonight?
Well, to start with, we took off from Maha Beach Resort in Western Region, and then made our first stop in the house of Mr. Nkumsa. He and the wife actually hosted us to a party that really celebrated some people who did their birthday. And I must add that the feeling at the Maha Beach Resort was quite a great one. But I think I should recap the entire trip for you. Since we actually embarked on this trip, today being the very last night we're going to have at Cape Coast, to get the appropriate to bring up to speed with what the update has been. We actually started off, that was last Saturday, and we went straight to the Volta region. After we were treated to some kinky and other local dishes within the premises of Citi TV at Adonoo, and we left there to the Volta region, precisely Amejope Canopy Walkway, and we had some great time over there. It was a breathtaking experience where caravanites took turns to walk on the Canopy Walkway, some for the very first time in their life. Can't get to see this caravan. We left the Amejope Canopy Walkway to the eastern region where the Royal Century hosted us, and the Pampa Band through that night, and it was all fun and great excitement. That was actually sponsored by Ebony Condoms, being one of the sponsors on this year's Heritage Caravan. We woke up as early as 6 and started our journey from the Eastern region straight to the Ashanti region. But we made a first stop at the Bonway Kente Weaving Center, where the European Union in Ghana also took turn to, do about their beauty over there. They actually expose our patrons to what they do in Ghana, the support they offer to a number of Ghanaians in terms of their mandate in the country. Yesterday, and then later slept at another hotel in Kumasi, specifically at H2. And at that particular place, we had a poolside party. Some of us actually slept as late as 2 a.m. And that should tell you the level of excitement with which the government can party and party so hard. We woke up from that particular place with our food packed, where we took off straight to the Upper East region. But then we made a stopover at Paradise restaurant on the way, where we had some local dishes to the patrons. From that particular place, we again, like I mentioned, we moved straight to Upper East region, but through morning, precisely where we went to Bogatanga, and that place we also welcomed with the traditional dance, drumming, and the food, where a brief history was told about Bogatanga, how the various tribes live and coexist with each other since time immemorial. From there, we moved to Tamale, where we went straight to the Paga Crocodile Pond and then made our entry into Burkina Faso. So I would say that it's been quite a very long journey. On some of the trips, we would do at least 12 hours, while some we would do, we actually did about 10 hours. So every now and then we moved, it all comes with its own fun and all excitement and enthusiasm. The governors never gave up. We left Tamale and then moved straight to the Savannah region, where we actually went to the Mole National Park, which is in the country. And at this particular place, the caravanners took turn to a safari. They saw the elephant for the very first time. And I will also put on record that has been my first time seeing an elephant, and it's a huge animal that, and it was so beautiful. We saw baboons, we saw antelopes of various kinds, and we also went to their museum to what they had to offer. The education there was quite insightful, I would say, because some of the kids were eye-opening, knowing the kind of animals they have in this national park. From the Savannah region, we headed straight to the Bono region. That particular day lasted about 12 good hours on the road. And you can just imagine, but even that, the caravanites, from time to time, they will take a break and then sing, dance. There are games on board. People are playing Ludo, people are playing cards, people are having all manner of Adonoo fan on the bus. So we left that particular Bono region where we headed through other regions and straight to the Bono region. We left Savannah to the Bono region where Elizabeth Hotel hosted us to some great dinner and fun. So from that particular Bono region, we headed straight to where we actually left. It is the
Mahabi. So after the Maha, you had a birthday party at the Mr. Nkusa house. And so now you are in Cape Coast.
The recap of the entire trip is it's going to be almost 7 days on the road, sleeping in some good hotels, having fun on the road. And this is the description of the Heritage Month when we mean travel Ghana, see Ghana,
well.
Ghana, and enjoy everything of heritage.
Very
Ghana
well.
has is for all of us.
So what time do we expect you tomorrow in Accra?
Hello, Selorm. Come again.
What time should we be expecting you in Accra tomorrow?
The line is breaking.
All right, I was just asking what time we should be expecting you in Accra tomorrow.
So we will be back in Accra tomorrow, if I get a question right.
Yes.
We will be back in Accra tomorrow. Tonight we're going to have our very last night in Cape Coast in one of the class hotels that normally when we are moving, there's an advanced team that is always 2 to 3 hours ahead of us to make sure every plan put in place is actually ready for caravanites to enjoy.
Very well.
So, and this evening when we are done partying for the final time at this particular hotel in Cape Coast, we will then move to Accra tomorrow where we would get visiting premises and everybody would move into their various homes, and that would mean the end to the 2023 edition of the Heritage Caravan. But that will not be all. Don't forget, on 24th we have the food bazaar coming up, and all these patrons on the Heritage Caravan would be present at this food bazaar.
Very well.
Now, even though some of them came from outside the country, we also give assurance that some of them would be present at the
Very
food
well.
bazaar to ensure that the climax this whole Heritage Month is everything that Citi FM has to offer them.
Very well. Thank you so much, Fred Duho. Fred Duho is our man on the beat. He's with the Heritage Caravan team. They've been traveling 14 regions of Ghana in 7 days. This is how we conclude our program for tonight. Show has been produced by Nana Kobna Welsin, Sami Wiafe, and then Beverly London. Production assistance is given by Daniel Squashi. Earlier you heard Akosua Otchere and Neti Ajaho. My name is Selorm Adonoo. Up next is Sports Panorama. Make a date with me tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the big issue where we discuss all the topical matters, current affairs matters that made the news. Benjamin Nkitia and his boys are up next with Sports Panorama. Have a good evening.